the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
For the managing editor of the Insight newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr. Or the OSP Kisi Ejaben Ato Apaso and all kone say enam. Na in fact, why exposing a office of the special prosecutor Kisi Ejaben Amiye who say the power now or pese or yusu ewo on my Ghana muhano in the case of a Ken Ofori issue no a debia or abuse the power. Na sa power na ono person we use no enye ono na responsible to that say or timi extradite eye Ken Ofori na emu right way ni say obe present and as obe submitted docket no e de ama the attorney general Dominic Ayine na attorney general no etimi extradite eye Ken Ofori ene Kwesi Pratt Jr. I expose eye office of the special prosecutor kesi pa e was a Ken Ofori issue we mu am ye hu say kan na bi ene esumasi nyum enwuma bi wo ho ache say koso ache say office of the special prosecutor kisi aja bi epese o faswa ye pia de ke e ma Ken Ofori ho e kire no ye nyina di twia na ye di adanse say Ken Ofori lawyers eye Frank Davis no e making it known to the attorney general ene one kasa office of the special prosecutor he say omo client no oyare enu nti onti mabish e mepiem Ghana ha in person Emma sa investigations a person on any no enkoso nemu obetimi no wadi nkomo via online na eno so acceptable and even second Ofori ba bepium Ghana hakora na according to lawyers na kire say obetimi aba betena wanim nemu ubisa ni any question a obetimi decide say onyi ano nti dia be pa na ne Kwesi Pratt Jr. Kan say dia be pa na AC kisi ajabe kwan say obe submit sa docket no e di ama the attorney general no e kana Kwesi ni mabi koso enye in fact yentie ensema Kwesi Pratt Jr. de gu apono so ene.
The establishment of the office of the special prosecutor was just a political gimmick with no substantial consequences for legal practice in Ghana. It's a political gimmick. And we said so. And everybody ignored our counsel. The NDC ignored our counsel because at the time it did not want to be seen to be against measures to fight corruption, even though they knew clearly that this was a useless gimmick. The NPP on its part wanted to create the impression that it was taking the fight to corruption, the fight of corruption,
the fight against corruption,
to another level. This is the gimmick which brought the OSP into being. Because you see, no part of Article 88 of the Constitution, clause 1 to clause 6, has been amended by the establishment of the office of the OSP.
Fact.
Now, if you read Article 88, clauses 1 to 6 of the Constitution, it is clear that the Attorney General is still in charge of all criminal prosecutions and all civil suits against the government. It's still the authority, the final authority. Now, let me read the article for your benefit. Article 88. Clause 1. There shall be an Attorney General who shall be a Minister of State and the principal legal advisor to government. That is clear. 2. The Attorney General shall discharge such other duties of a legal nature as may be referred or assigned to him by the President or imposed on him by this Constitution or any other law. 3. The Attorney General shall be responsible for the initiation and conduct of all prosecutions of criminal offenses. Clear. So clear, no other authority in Ghana, including the OSP, has a constitutional responsibility for prosecuting criminal cases other than the Attorney General. 4. all offences prosecuted in the name of the Republic shall be at the suit of the Attorney General or any other person authorized by him in accordance with any law. This is where the OSP comes in. Okay, so when the OSP is carrying out prosecutions, it is deemed that it is doing so on the authority of the Attorney General. You understand?
Right.
Now, clearly, if the OSP starts a prosecution, any prosecution, the Attorney General can, without the permission and reference to the OSP, enter nolli prosecutor. So this OSP contraption is just a joke. A joke created for political purposes. You understand? Now go to 5. It says the Attorney General shall be responsible for the institution and conduct of all civil cases, even civil cases. It says the Attorney General shall be responsible for the institution and conduct of all civil cases on behalf of the state, and civil proceedings against the state shall be instituted against the Attorney General as defendant. 6. The Attorney General shall have audience in all courts in Ghana. You understand? So this contraption, and the OSP is just a contraption. This contraption was created for the reasons which I've stated earlier, but really in substance has no powers. It's subordinate to the office of the Attorney General. Completely subordinate to the office of the Attorney General. So that must be clear.
So what did we do? What have we done? We've created an organ. We've created an institution that cannot take its own decision. Anyway, you just please go ahead.
Yeah, but you're right.
Like we said in Chi, you're
You're right. We've created an institution which has no original powers. Okay? Now, with regards to the current dispute or apparent dispute between the OSP and the Attorney General, there are allegations against Mr. Ken Ofori, and I think it's important to emphasize that these are allegations. These are matters of public interest. These are matters that the OSP wants to investigate. So as we speak now, Mr. Ofori is not a criminal. He has not been convicted by any court of law. But there are suspicions, there are allegations, there are matters in which the state claims that it wants to set the records straight in order to be able to determine whether or not he should be prosecuted. The OSP started this investigation. Now the OSP insists that it needs the physical presence of Mr. Ofori to be able to carry on with this investigation, which may lead to prosecution. Mr. Ofori, on the other hand, insists that he doesn't have to be physically present and that he's ready to do everything possible through his lawyers to enable the OSP to establish the facts of the matters before them. This is a contention between Mr. Ofori and the OSP.
because he's unwell.
Yeah, Mr. Ofori says that he's unwell, that he's suffering from prostate cancer.
Yes.
Okay, which is very interesting. That's a separate matter. There are so many people in Ghana who are alive. They are working in the public services. They are working in the private sector. Some of them may be in jail. Some of them may be working at the highest echelons of government and so on, who have prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is not an excuse for not performing national duties. It's not an excuse, cannot be an excuse. You understand? But that is his claim. Now, in the light of these developments, the OSP, in its wisdom, then declares Mr. Ofori a wanted man and issues a red Interpol alert. Of course, a red Interpol alert would not lead to his extradition. You understand? What you need to do if you want Mr. Ofori back in Ghana to answer questions and so on is to extradite him from wherever he is. And now the popular assumption is that he's in the United States of America. Okay. The OSP, because of its inferior position, inferior constitutional provision, cannot start an extradition process.
No, it can't.
It cannot. It doesn't have the power so to do.
Yes.
That power is vested in the Attorney General. Because of the OSP's inferior constitutional position. Okay? So, what the OSP has to do then is to refer the matter to the Attorney General for action. Strangely, very, very strangely, the OSP now writes to the Chief of Staff to facilitate the extradition. How? How? OSP cannot communicate with its superior organ, which is the Office of the Attorney General, has to do so through the Chief of Staff. Whatever it is, the Chief of Staff then forwards the letter to the Office of the Attorney General. The Attorney General says, look, we cannot start the process of extradition if there's no docket.
No, sorry, before you even go to that point, you know, the matter about why the OSP had to write to the Office of the Chief of Staff to seek some kind of assistance was because, and I've heard the Director of Research and Policy, and I believe it's communication also, explain that there's something they call the political character question. And the political character question would be, does Ghana want to extradite Ken Ofori to Ghana? Now, if we
have you read Article 88?
No,
have you read Article 88? If you've read Article 88, we will not do what you're doing at all.
OSP explains that that question ought to be answered. Yes, the Chief of Staff then says, yes, we want Ofori in this country.
The Chief of Staff cannot even make that decision without reference to the Attorney General.
And that is why the Chief of Staff then, the following day, it was on the 2nd of June. On the 3rd of June, the Chief of Staff then writes to the Office of the Attorney General and says, OSP says he needs your help. Kindly support them. Kindly assist them.
No, don't waste your time.
Okay.
The issues you are raising is just...
You don't buy that argument?
It's not buying the argument. It's just a waste of time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Because the Chief of Staff has no locus to make any determination on a legal matter without reference to the Attorney General. And the OSP, as a lawyer, as a law-governed organization, so should know that. You understand? So they write to the Chief of Staff, and the Chief of Staff rightly refers the letter to the Attorney General.
Okay.
The Attorney General says that, look, we cannot proceed without a docket. So whatever state the docket is in at that moment, whatever state, completed, uncompleted, whatever, bring the docket. But in addition to bringing the docket, we need 2 of your investigators to work with us in order to prepare to make the case for extradition. As we speak now, today, that docket has not been submitted.
They're still investigating.
Did you read the letter from the Attorney General's office?
Yes, I did.
It says, whatever state the docket is in, completed, uncompleted, whatever, bring it.
And they said they are not ready.
To bring the docket as it is.
No, they said they can't, unless they are done with the investigations. And you can't force
them. But the OSP, based on Article 88, is only exercising powers that the Attorney General allows it to exercise.
Right.
It's a subordinate organization. Is that clear?
No, that's true. Yes.
It's a subordinate organization. So how does the subordinate organization say that we will not listen to, we want to do as we like? And indeed, if you read the letter from the Attorney General, its insistence that, look, wherever the docket is, whatever state the docket is, bring it. But bring 2 of your investigators along. It's a clear message. It's a clear message that at that stage, the Attorney General wanted to exercise oversight over the process, as is empowered by law, by the Constitution to do. It is clear that at that stage, the Attorney General was exercising its full powers, and so on. So, what is the basis of the reluctance of the OSP to submit the docket? These are the issues at play.
Question is, Kwesi,
Yeah.
does the Attorney General's department really need a docket, strictly speaking? Do you need a
From
docket?
all the lawyers I've heard, I'm not a lawyer, I didn't go to
Yes.
law school, okay? But from all the lawyers I've heard, all of them, without exception, have made the point that to institute an extradition process, you need a docket.
You just need information.
No, you need a docket.
Information. Has there been an arrest warrant? You send it. Has there been an Interpol red alert notice? You send it. Has there been, how do you call it, what are the, like you rightly mentioned, the officers from the OSP who are supposed to join the Attorney General's, officials from the Attorney General's department to go and do this extradition in America. You supply them. Finish. Because that docket we're talking about, Kwesi, also has many other institutions and businesses who are being investigated in that same docket.
No.
We're being told.
No.
There's the SML
No.
which is contained in that same document.
But that is in relation to Ken Ofori and his conduct as finance minister.
Yes.
Finish.
Yes.
So it doesn't have others, only one.
No, but the OSP is saying that you want to extradite Ken from America. We can give you the information related to Ken Ofori as in Ken Ofori, and not all the other allied institutions that have been investigated in relation to Ken Ofori. We don't want to give you that. That's the OSP's position.
No.
And that docket contains other information, pieces of information that you, Attorney General's department, you don't need.
No,
I'm saying that's what the OSP tells us through that statement that they issued.
Yeah, but it appears that you believe that.
No. I'm just asking questions based on what they're saying.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
The OSP claims that it is investigating Mr. Ofori in respect of many transactions that he carried out on behalf of the government of Ghana, including the STL and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
So you cannot ask for extradition without providing information on the transactions that he undertook on behalf of Ghana with all the other organizations. You cannot.
Okay.
That's the gravamen of the case. That's the basis of the case for extradition.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So nobody should make that argument.
Okay.
It is too pedestrian.
Right.
Please, don't waste our time with that argument. It's just too pedestrian. You understand? So this is where we are.
Thank you, Sandra. Yes, sir.
I mean, you were excited when the OSP started, fighting corruption. And to be fair, Kwesi Jabin was appointed by former President Akufo-Addo, and his fight with Ken Ofori started under the Akufo-Addo administration. Many persons in the Akufo-Addo government at the time thought that he was a sellout, a traitor, and all of that. But many also thought that he was doing a good job going against the administration that appointed him. Tonight, this new government, 9 months into office or 10 months into office, the Attorney General is saying to us they are simply having difficulties taking the docket from the OSP in order that they can extradite Ken Ofori, a thing that the OSP has been claiming all these years was working on. Are you able to read between the lines? It looks a bit blurry for me.
Okay, so Sandra, the first point is that, let me know this, unless maybe my memory is bad, my recollection of the matter is that as of even January this year, when Ofori was leaving this jurisdiction, he did not know that there was a case against him at the OSP. So I'm not exactly sure how much he fought, Kwesi Jabin fought Ofori while they were in government, because the OSP itself admits that when Ofori was leaving this country in January 2025, he did not know. So mean that OSP had never invited him, OSP had never informed him. I'm not saying they should inform him he's under investigation, but it means that if anything, the investigations hadn't reached a stage where they called him in to come and do a caution statement, etc. So it's to put it in context to see whether Kwesi really stood up to Ofori when Akufo-Addo was in office. If anything, I think that Kwesi had been muscled. That's why Kwesi Ejabin came and sang the Ankwa Numa song, and I faulted him later. At that time, I didn't understand. It was after Akufo-Addo and Co left back. I understood that was the thing he was trying to tell us. But he should have been told. Just say that, look, the president is interfering in the work, like Matinami did. You see? So I faulted Kwesi Ejabin for not having that courage. He didn't show the necessary courage. Look, sometimes it's better to fight a short fight, then you leave, and somebody comes to continue, than you want longevity. You want to manage politicians, and then, because now this case has become an albatross around the neck of Kwesi Ejabin, it shows, the case is showing a lot of ineptitude in handling this matter.